Imagine making millions without digging gold or selling stocks, just by catching the right insect. Imagine a world where a single beetle could buy you a luxury car, a butterfly's wings hold more value than a diamond necklace, and a suitcase stuffed with 5,400 live queen ants could fetch $1.2 million. And in the Himalayas, a butterfly wing with wings like molten gold trades for $10,000 on the black market. This isn't the plot of a heist movie, it's the bizarre reality of the underground insect trade. In this video of Forever Green, we will show you which insects could secretly turn you into a millionaire. But be warned, not all that glitters is legal or ethical. Let's dive in. Giant African Harvester Ant Queen. In April 2025, Kenyan wildlife officers arrested 4 people at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport for attempting to smuggle approximately 5,440 queen ants out of the country. These ants were concealed in over 2,200 modified test tubes and syringes designed to sustain them during transit and evade airport detection. The ants were headed for private collectors and ant breeders across Europe and Asia. At about $220 per queen, the full shipment could have bought nearly $1.2 million if sold illegally. These ants are so valuable because they are colony starters. A single queen can produce thousands of worker ants, which makes them the center of live ant farms, a growing hobby in countries like Germany, Japan, and the UK. Stag beetle. In 1999, a Japanese breeder made world news when he sold a rare giant stag beetle for a shocking $89,000, equivalent to 10 million yen at the time. This particular beetle, known as the Black Diamond, measured approximately 79 millimeters and was prized for its size and rarity. In 2020, a beetle named Lucanus sold for $90,000 at a Tokyo auction. Breeders like Hiroki Heioki, son of the Benihana founder, have made headlines for their beetle empires. These beetles are loved for their massive mandibles that look like deer antlers, which is where they get their name. Bigger, rarer, and darker colored beetles fetch the highest prices, especially in Japan, where beetle collecting is a huge hobby. In fact, owning a rare stag beetle is seen as a sign of status among wealthy collectors, similar to owning a rare dog breed or a luxury watch. Golden birdwing butterfly. The golden birdwing is one of the most stunning butterflies in the world. Their large golden yellow wings with deep black borders make them stand out instantly. In 2021, Chinese customs officials at Guangzhou Airport seized dozens of rare golden birdwing butterflies being smuggled to private collectors. The whole haul was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Preserved specimens of these butterflies, especially the larger males, can sell for over $3,000 each. In 2021, a British collector paid $10,000 for a rare all-gold female caught in India. Because they are listed under CITES, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, it's illegal to buy or sell them internationally without proper permits. Some scientists now breed them in labs, but wild ones are still 10 times more valuable. Orchid mantis. The orchid mantis looks like a moving flower with pink, white, and purple coloring that perfectly copies a real orchid. The trick fools not just prey, but also predators, making it one of nature's best camouflage experts. Scientists first discovered them in Malaysia in 1896, but habitat loss has made them rare. In 2022, Malaysia banned exporting them, but smugglers still sneak them out in makeup boxes. Collectors and breeders love them because of their beauty and their difficulty to raise. Breeding pairs, which are needed to start a colony, can sell for $300 or more, especially if they show rare color mutations. A TikTok user, @BugLover, went viral when her pet mantis, Petal, died after a photo shoot with Kylie Jenner's makeup artist. Because they're fragile and need exact temperatures and humidity to survive, they're not easy pets, which keeps their price high. If you like this video so far, leave a like, and you can also check out world's deadliest and most venomous insect that is feared by most on our channel Forever Green. Mexican jade fuego tarantula. The Mexican jade fuego tarantula is one of the newest rising stars among exotic pet lovers. Discovered more recently and popularized after exotic pet YouTubers like Tarantula Cat showcased it in 2023, this spider is known for its incredible bright green and fiery orange coloration, almost looking like a gemstone lit on fire. Collectors love them because they're not only stunning, but also relatively calm compared to more aggressive species. In exotic pet markets across Europe and the US, healthy adult Mexican jade fuegos can sell for $1,100 to $3,800, depending on size, age, and coloration. In 2025, a private breeder in Germany made headlines in the tarantula keeping community for selling the first successful multi-generational clutch of jade fuegos. Goliath beetle. Goliath beetles are giants among insects, with adults growing up to 4.3 inches long and weighing more than a small mouse. Their size, striking black and white or brown patterns, and slow but powerful movements make them highly prized in the exotic pet trade. Rare species such as Goliathus caecus and Goliathus regius are particularly sought after, with prices ranging from $500 to over $1,000 per specimen. Because they're slow growing and difficult to breed in captivity, their prices keep climbing every year. In 2023, a blue Goliath beetle was auctioned for $5,000 to a London museum. In 2021, a Congolese smuggler was caught at Paris airport with 200 Goliath larvae in his suitcase. He told police he'd earned $100,000 in Europe. Some U.S. states like Florida ban owning them because they could damage crops if they escape. Peacock spider. The peacock spider is tiny, about the size of a grain of rice, but it puts on one of the most beautiful dances in the animal kingdom. Male peacock spiders dance with rainbow-colored flaps to attract mates. If the female isn't impressed, she eats him. Their name comes from a myth that they fly using belly flaps, which was debunked in 1991. In 2015, biologist Jürgen Otto helped bring global fame to these spiders by posting their mating dances online. Some videos gathered millions of views and made peacock spiders viral celebrities. Since then, demand for live specimens has skyrocketed. Today, a single live peacock spider can sell for $200 or more, especially rare species like Muratus volans or Muratus speciosus. In 2023, a rare gold peacock spider sold for $2,000 online, but Australia bans exporting them. Atlas moth. The atlas moth is so huge that its wings can spread over 10 to 12 inches, making it one of the biggest moths on Earth. Collectors love atlas moths for their size and beautiful patterns that look like snake heads on their wings. Even just one cocoon can sell for around $100 to $200, especially if the moth is successfully raised without damage. Because they only live a few weeks as adults and don't eat during that time, so collectors want them fast, which raises their value even more. In Thailand, smugglers were caught in 2022 with 500 cocoons hidden in toy boxes at Bangkok airport. They plan to sell them to artists who use the cocoons to make silk paper. In Southeast Asia, especially in Thailand and Indonesia, small farms raise atlas moths for silk production and collectors. Their silk is heavier and rougher than normal silk and is sometimes called Fagara silk. Before proceeding to our next selection, we invite you to explore our video on deadly insects that can easily defeat a praying mantis. Now back to our video. The emperor scorpion. The emperor scorpion is one of the largest scorpions in the world, growing up to 8 inches long. It's jet black, heavy-bodied, and surprisingly calm compared to other scorpions. which is why it became popular in the exotic pet trade. In 2022, The Guardian reported that U.S. Customs has seized thousands of illegally trafficked emperor scorpions coming from West Africa, intended for exotic pet shops across Europe and America. Healthy adult emperor scorpions sell for $50 to $150, depending on their size and health. Collectors love them because they glow under UV light, appearing ghostly green or blue when exposed to black light. However, because wild populations are being affected by overcollection and habitat loss, some countries like Ghana and Togo have started placing restrictions on their export. Hercules beetle. The Hercules beetle isn't just big, it's legendary. Males can grow up to 7 inches long if you count their giant horns. In Japan, beetle fighting competitions are popular, and Hercules beetles are stars of the show. In these matches, beetles push and flip each other off small platforms, a safer version of sumo wrestling. Because of their strength and size, Hercules beetles with long, perfect horns can sell for $1,200 or more. In 2020, a beetle named Titan won a championship and was sold for $15,000. Breeders keep their methods secret, like recipes for diamonds, but wild beetles are still stolen. Breeding them isn't easy. They need humid environments, decaying wood for larvae, and they can take up to 2 years to reach adult size. This long growing time makes healthy, adult males extremely valuable in the pet and competition market.
Death's head hawk moth. The death's head hawk moth is famous because of its creepy, skull-like mark on its back. It became even more famous after it was featured in the 1991 movie, The Silence of the Lambs, in which the killer places the moth in victims' mouths as a calling card. Since then, this moth has been a favorite among collectors, especially horror fans and exotic insect lovers. A single, well-preserved moth specimen can sell for $150 to $500 depending on size, clarity of the skull pattern, and rarity. They are hard to breed because their larvae require specific plants like potato or nightshade. And the adult moths need special conditions to live. This difficulty makes them rarer and boosts their price even more among private collectors. Interestingly, these moths steal honey from beehives and can mimic bee smells. A 2021 BBC documentary showed how they trick bees. Stick insect. Stick insects are the masters of camouflage. Many look exactly like twigs or branches. The Phryganistria chinensis, discovered in China in 2014, holds the record as one of the longest insects ever found, reaching up to 24 inches. Rare giant stick insects like these can sell for $200 or more, especially if they're healthy breeding adults. In 2025, a new giant stick insect discovery in Vietnam made headlines in scientific journals, bringing even more attention to these weird and wonderful creatures. Because they are fragile and need specific plants to survive, they are tricky to raise in captivity. That difficulty makes them more expensive for serious insect collectors. Jewel beetle. The jewel beetle looks like a living gemstone. Its hard exoskeleton reflects brilliant metallic colors, greens, blues, purples, sometimes looking more like a polished emerald than an insect. Rare species, especially ones with unique or extra bright colorations, easily fetch $200 to $500 today. In 2022, a rare Japanese jewel beetle specimen sold at a Tokyo collector's fair for $600. In 2021, a man in Miami hid 100 beetle larvae in his car trunk to sell for $500 each. Surprisingly, their larvae can stay dormant in wood for 51 years before emerging. Smugglers often illegally collect them from protected forests, which is leading some countries like Thailand and Vietnam to crack down on illegal beetle sales. In South Africa, giant jewel beetles are eaten as protein snacks. Moreover, a 2023 study found they detect forest fires from 50 miles away using infrared vision. Madagascan sunset moth. The Madagascan sunset moth doesn't even look real at first glance. Its wings shimmer with colors like green, orange, blue, and gold, almost like a moving rainbow. Collectors love this moth because of its iridescence, which means the colors change when viewed from different angles. Prices for individual specimens usually range between $50 and $200, depending on wing condition and size. In 2024, an auction in Paris sold a preserved sunset moth framed in art glass for almost $500. During the Victorian era, their wings were used in jewelry, and in 2007, they appeared on a Madagascar postage stamp. Because their wings are used in jewelry, decorations, and even luxury fashion accessories, demand keeps growing. But legal exports require special permits to avoid hurting wild populations. Jewel wasp. The jewel wasp looks like it was made out of emeralds and sapphires. Bright metallic blue-green colors shine under sunlight. But it's not just its beauty that's shocking. This wasp has a gruesome hunting style. It stings cockroaches, injects venom directly into their brain, and basically turns them into zombie slaves, leading them into its burrow as live food for its babies. In 2022, National Geographic did a full video series featuring the jewel wasp's hunting behavior. Collectors and insect museums often pay $100 to $300 for a well-preserved specimen because of its colors and its strange zombie-making ability. Because they are difficult to catch, they live mostly in tropical rainforests in Asia and Africa. Prices stay high, especially for healthy or freshly preserved individuals. Talking about insects, you can also check out our video on 7 most intelligent insects in the world. Dragonhead caterpillar. The dragonhead caterpillar looks more like a mini dragon than a harmless baby butterfly. It has horn-like projections, a bright green body, and moves in a way that can surprise predators. In 2024, photos of dragonhead caterpillars started trending on Instagram after photographers captured their strange beauty in Malaysia's rainforests, pushing up interest among nature lovers. Specimens of these caterpillars, especially if caught in their brightest stages, can sell for $20 to $100, depending on size and health. Because they later turn into relatively ordinary-looking butterflies, many collectors want to preserve the caterpillar stage instead, either mounted for display or filmed for documentaries. Tarantula hawk wasp. The tarantula hawk wasp looks beautiful with its metallic blue body and orange wings, but it's also famous for delivering one of the most painful stings in the insect world. It's so painful that biologist Justin O. Schmidt ranked it near the very top of his Schmidt Pain Index, describing it as blinding, fierce, and shockingly electric. In 2022, a viral video by wildlife presenter Coyote Peterson showing himself getting stung by a tarantula hawk brought these wasps into global fame. Collectors, especially those into extreme insect collections, are willing to pay $100 to $300 for a preserved tarantula hawk, depending on its size and wing condition, because they are tough to catch, fast flyers, and fierce fighters. Finding good specimens for display isn't easy, which keeps the price high among museums and private collectors. Blister beetle. Blister beetles aren't famous for their looks, they're famous for their dangerous chemical called cantharidin. This substance causes severe skin blisters and is toxic if consumed. This chemical is so potent that just 0.5 milligrams can kill a horse if ingested in contaminated hay. But it's also used in very tiny amounts in medicine for wart treatments and some experimental cancer drugs. In 2024, a U.S. biotech company signed a deal with farmers in Morocco to legally harvest and process blister beetles for medical-grade cantharidin production. Because cantharidin is so hard to get, you need thousands of beetles to make just a few grams. Raw beetles can sell for around $500 per kilogram. Today, strict rules control their trade, but pharmaceutical companies still rely on them, making blister beetles surprisingly valuable on the scientific market. Praying mantis. Known as the devil's flower mantis, the Mantis diabolica looks like something straight out of fantasy art. Its huge size, leafy limbs, and bright colors when threatened make it one of the most dramatic insects to own. Breeding pairs or large adults can sell for $80 to $200, especially because raising them is a challenge. They need exact humidity, warmth, and special diets. Their bright display, flashing white, pink, and purple petals when scared, has made them favorites not just among collectors but also photographers and filmmakers needing exotic creatures for shoots. In 2021, a viral Reddit post featuring a full-grown devil's flower mantis racked up over 500,000 upvotes, making more people curious about keeping them as pets. Polka dot wasp moth. At first glance, the polka dot wasp moth looks like a cartoon character. It has a shiny, dark blue body covered in bright white spots and vivid orange markings on its abdomen. While it's called a wasp moth, it's completely harmless. Its scary appearance is just a trick to avoid predators. Normally, well-preserved specimens sell for $50 to $150, depending on size and brightness of the colors. In 2023, during a large butterfly and moth festival in Florida, a rare giant polka dot wasp moth was sold at auction for $175, drawing attention from collectors and insect hobbyists. Because they're native mostly to southern parts of the U.S. like Florida and the Caribbean, finding large, perfect ones can be tough, especially during non-peak seasons. And that's it for today. See you at the next one on Forever Green.